Hey, had to run something up to my daughter's school. Motherfucker. Am I on the stream? I'm on the stream. Okay, sorry for my out of breathness. Let me pull up. They're playing right now the third interview with Alec.
Involved in getting your office a card.
And his friend Corey Fleming is there at this interview, which I find weird.
Probably a little bit on the later side of that.
It's his friend, a fellow attorney, and also
get out of there because she had an appointment.
Somebody who has been disbarred
just don't remember if I left
from Georgia and South Carolina for participating allegedly in crimes, allegedly financial crimes, allegedly with Alec. So that's who's sitting here with him right now and showed up for the third interview, which I find
and I know
weird.
When you were at the office, you were working on motions, and some of those motions you dealt with before Paul's the boat accident or the boat case.
That's a lot.
I'm not really doing the legal work. I understand, but you're Paul's dad, you're a lawyer, you're definitely going to know what's going on. Yeah. So what were those motions? Did it deal with Parker's, or was it the actual boat accident, or it was the
Parker's owns the
civil case?
Gas station company where Paul used his brother's ID to purchase alcohol, and the Beach family was also suing
I'd say 5:30.
Parker Group, I think that they're called, as well as Alec for the boat crash.
Me and Paul got there about the same time.
I just can't believe the audacity of this attorney being there with him. I get it, he's a friend, but he also knows the mix-ups he's done financially with Alec too, so
what were those two different vehicles?
I'm going to walk up into SLED.
We rode in the white pickup truck, and we rode in the black pickup truck.
And I don't remember him saying that he was Alec's attorney. He just said, I'm an attorney.
Either one of those, did you see any?
I don't know if that matters.
Take your time. It's like that. Did you see any rifles or shotguns? I don't remember seeing any that day, no. We did have pistols. Yeah, because the next day, target practice. Not really target practice, just shoot. Yeah.
So then it just goes to show you how many of these attorneys know each other or kind of mixed in with the investigation to their murders, taking off my shoes and socks, Mr. Rogers style, having hot flash.
I'm sorry.
Again, as you heard yesterday, one of Alec's defense attorneys, Jim Griffin,
I can do it.
one of the attorneys, Jim Griffin, as Judge Newman has said,
Look at the sunflowers because we was worried about the sunflowers. That was the first thing we looked at, and we just rode.
No, you were worried about sunflowers.
We looked at. We hadn't done it in a while. We just rode, talked.
Gonna mute for a sec.
We'll talk about everything, one of the main things, he'd been having trouble, his feet had swelled up, and we were worried about blood pressure and stress on him, and he handled all this stuff so amazingly, but we were just so worried about it.
But I mean, we talked about that. We talked about the farm. We just talked about everything.
Has Paul been seeing a doctor for this being?
No, sir.
They are trying to get him to go.
Trying to get him to go.
And he was resistant.
Yeah, he had been resistant, but much less so after his feet swelled up. I mean, he'd been having all kind of little problems, but much less after his feet swelled up.
As parents, I'm sure you and Maggie stayed on him about going out. I mean, how did he respond to you?
To going out?
No, going to the doctor.
He did.
When y'all talked about it.
He's very resistant. Very, very resistant. I mean, we talked to him about seeing a doctor, about the stresses of everything with the boat wreck. He didn't think he needed to do that. I mean, we tried to watch him really closely. But he was resistant.
What time did Maggie get back home that night?
Later. I'd say probably, the best I can tell, a couple hours after we got there.
When you and Paul returned back to the house, was Maggie there?
I can't remember if Maggie came by the shed when Paul and I were up there, or if we met her at the house. But, you know, it's not unusual for her, if we're messing around, for her to swing through up there.
Mm-hmm.
But Maggie wasn't supposed to be coming home. I've since found out she was worried about me, and me worried about my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And so she came home.
So at that point in the interview, she said, did he tell you she came home because she was worried about his dad?
Yes.
What?
This is for the objection.
Leading, he's just repeating what the jury just heard.
Right. It's not leading. How's that leading? Dum-dum.
Yes, sir.
God, I can play it and come back and ask him to clarify that. That's all. Go ahead, please.
Maggie wasn't supposed to be coming home. I've since found out she was worried about me, and me worried about my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And so she came home.
She did say,
Where was she going to stay that night?
At Edison. We were having work done down there. And it wasn't 100%, but it's pretty well she was going to stay at Edison.
So it kind of surprised you that she came back.
That didn't totally surprise me. She'd let me know earlier that she was coming home. But then I found out later.
she let me know. I asked her to be there. Whoop, whoop.
Sure.
What time did y'all sit down and eat dinner?
Not too long after that. Blanc had made dinner.
Blanca testified
So
earlier
three of us ate dinner together.
last week.
What was the conversation around the dinner table?
Normal. Regular stuff. I mean, I can't tell you exactly, but
How was Maggie's appointment in Charleston that day?
I think it had gone good. We didn't really get the chance to talk about it in detail. She's been having a couple little medical issues. I can't even remember which one. It wasn't anything huge. I can't remember exactly which one she went for.
I need to make more coffee.
And after dinner, Maggie and Paul went to the kennels, or
You know, I don't know exactly how that went. I stayed on the couch and I dozed off. And then I got up.
Did you watch TV that night?
I know the TV was, I believe the TV was on. But I wasn't
What kind of noise was that?
watching it. You know, I mean,
Repeat that. This next question regarding a tree video, had you confronted him with that before?
No, sir, had not.
Okay, please go ahead.
What's his reaction to the
There
tree
was a
video?
video on Paul's phone of you and him on the farm that night. And you were in khaki pants and a dress shirt. You were playing with a tree.
I don't remember playing with a tree.
I guess there was a tree sapling or something that had fallen over or bending over, and you were trying to get it to stand up. But I mean, the question in that is, when I met you that night, you were in shorts and a t-shirt. At what point in that evening did you change clothes?
I'm not sure. It would have been,
Before dinner or after dinner?
no, it would have been, what time of day was that? I would have thought I'd already changed.
There's not a time.
Is he asking you now what time that picture was?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Honestly, I don't know because there's so many posts. But I want to say it looks to be about dusk. So that would have been 7 or 8 o'clock.
I guess that changed when I got back to the house.
Earlier when we spoke, and you talked about waking up from your nap and going to check on your mother. And you tried to call Maggie, and you tried to call Paul. And then you sent Maggie a text because you were going to check on your mother. You also told me that Maggie would normally go to you to check on your mother, but that she might ride that night. Did you go by and check on her?
Go back check my mom?
Maggie, before you let go?
No, I didn't.
With her not responding to you, and thinking that she might ride with you, I didn't.
I don't remember having plans that Maggie was going to ride with me. So maybe she had told me that she was that night. I don't recall that. I don't remember that specifically.
I'll remember.
Um,
The whole plan was for them to go visit his dad,
she didn't normally
not
go
his
with me.
mom. And I'm still trying to determine where his dad.
I mean, it's not like we had
Pardon me,
plans
was that
she
night.
was going to ride with me, but she was going.
The sister-in-law, Maggie's sister, confirms that Maggie had stated they were going out there, or she was going out there. Alec asked her to come out there to visit his dad. She was unsure whether she wanted to go, and Maggie's sister encouraged her to go for the reason and for the purpose of visiting his dad.
These are just maps I pulled off of Google.
I think Corey Fleming's in the ugly blue checkered blazer. And why is he able to look at this stuff? Again,
Did you take
has he
from
stated,
Moselle to your mom's?
I would have gone to.
I am
right on
Alec's
Moselle
attorney?
Road, 63.
I'm representing Alec?
Turn left on the road. Right before 278, 601. And then in front of the school, turn right. That's how I believe I went.
Shit, right on Moselle to 63.
No, sir, right on Moselle.
Yeah.
Normal way, right on Moselle to Dawson Road. Dawson Road to 63. 63 in the Barnville, left on whatever the road is that goes to the school. Right. And then either 63 or left on the road that goes down and then on 63.
How often did you go visit your mother that night?
I mean, it wasn't infrequent. It wasn't all the time. I mean, visited her, you know, all times a day.
Just checking on her, especially with your dad being sorry.
She had been having a particularly, you know, she's got Alzheimer's really bad or pretty bad.
Bit of bad.
She had been particularly agitated. You know, with him not being there and
Okay, him not being there, so it sounds like he was in the hospital at that time.
checked on her more in the days and weeks following my dad's passing than, you know, otherwise, but several times a week, you know, anytime.
How long would you say you were at your mom's that night?
45 minutes, an hour.
45 minutes to an hour.
Had you talked to Shelley Smith at this point?
She's the
She had
caregiver.
been interviewed, yes. I had not spoken with her by that time.
Caregiver to
Yes, sir.
Please don't.
Alec's mom, who saw him the night of the murder at the mom's house. Stated he was there for 20 minutes. Stated he later said, I think the day of the funerals, I was here for like 45 minutes, right? I heard you're getting married. Let me help you out with the wedding.
I went straight.
I know the school you work for. I know your boss. Let me know if you need anything there.
And earlier in the day when you were down at the shed in Kennels.
And that's the type of stuff people, I don't know how.
Any dogs?
Just say, but they're being nice.
Did he and I? No, but Rogan Gibson told me about
Being nice would be saying that from the get-go when you meet somebody and find out that information, and there's
somebody saying his leg was broken.
no request that was given directly before offering that information or offering
Turn
that
up
help.
Mr. Owens's volume. Yes. Or turn up the volume.
I'm surprised the defense isn't saying like they didn't read him his Miranda rights. I understand they have never formally said yet that he is the suspect, but I do believe they're interrogating him
No,
like a
Rogan
suspect.
Gibson told me about the dog's tail, and somebody saying his leg was broken.
So right here in the interview, your question was, did Paul tell you that? So did he deny that he'd had a conversation with Paul about that?
He never said he had a conversation.
What if anything, did he say about whether he'd had a conversation with Paul about that?
He didn't indicate that he had a conversation with Paul. He said he had a conversation with Rogan Gibson.
That he'd heard that from Rogan?
Yes, sir.
Rogan is The owner of the dog,
Which one?
whose
which
tail
one's
was bent.
total?
Who's on the video that
It's
at the kennels that evening?
a chocolate puppy, I think.
Leg, was the leg broken?
Not that I know of.
I can certainly see why something might be wrong with his tail, because when I was out there, he was chasing his tail and looking through the fence and trying to grab it. So it was puppy energy. When you got back to Moselle, which driveway did you enter?
I went into brick gates.
And Maggie and Paul weren't there. Were there vehicles at the house?
Yes, sir.
How did they get down there that night?
Still, I was hoping you were going to be able to tell me that.
The only thing that I can come up with is that black truck. Is that Buster's old black truck?
Yes, sir.
Does it normally stay down at the farm, or does it stay at the house?
Both.
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 Did Maggie ever walk down there?
Maggie walked down there a lot. But Paul, I mean,
Her sister did confirm she liked to walk or ride her bike down there, especially like summer months where it's still light out at 8:30.
Paul walked down there that night, I would be surprised.
Because she wanted to lose weight.
Absolutely surprised.
Well, thinking about Paul's health concerns, do you think Maggie could have gotten him to walk that night? Say, come on, let's walk with me this one time.
You know, it's possible, but again, that would be highly, highly unusual. He would have talked her in the ride. It's been highly unusual for him to walk.
So when you were at the kennels, you were just down there with Paul. And you left. You went back to the house for dinner.
You know, I mean, Paul and I were just knocking around up at the shop, the shed, the kennels, and just the whole property. And that was before dinner, yes, sir.
And
I'm
you
not a
went back
body
and-
language expert, but look how he's like crossing his legs and locking his arms. I mean, I understand he's probably upset. And again, I'm not a professional, but it just looks like he's like comforting and hiding himself.
That's it. Keep going.
I've got information that Paul was on the phone.
Had you confronted him with what you're about asking prior to this?
No, I had not.
And the question you had just asked him, did that deal with whether he went down to the kennels or not after supper?
Correct.
And he said he had not.
He had not.
The lie detector test would determine that was a lie.
And Maggie was heard in the background. And you were heard in the background.
Oh, shit!
That was prior to 9 p.m.
I heard Rogan Gibson ask me if I was up there. He said he thought it was me.
Was it you?
At 9 o'clock?
Yes, sir.
No, sir. Not if my times are right.
Who do you think it could have been?
I have no idea.
Wonder if he's like
And
holding
Rogan's been
shit in right
around
now.
your family for pretty much all of his life.
Oh, absolutely.
And he recognizes your voice, and you have a distinct voice.
Yeah, it's weird.
Do you think of anybody else that has a voice similar to yours that he may have misinterpreted?
Mm,
Hi, Julie.
No, sir.
Welcome.
I mean,
What about Uncle Eddie? What the? Oh, we're seeing their computer. Hi.
when we were talking, he had asked me that. So, I mean, he had told me
Or yeah, cousin
he
Eddie.
thought I was up there.
Did something happen to him?
Yes, sir.
So when you return back to the kennels, when you return home from your mom's,
So this is the moment he finds out. They have
Were there-
several videos
where
of
were the
him that
dogs?
night, and
They
one
were
of him
like
down
they
at the
were
kennel,
Lauren, I didn't put dogs up.
Okay.
which has been
So they
confirmed to
were
be
from
his
Louis.
voice by
However,
someone
they
who's known
were-
the family for a very long time.
Okay. At one point in the 911 call, you say here, like you're talking to somebody else or something else.
It wasn't me.
I say here.
Here, yes, sir.
I actually don't think that would have been a good idea. I'm kind of glad he won't be able to testify. He's
So the
changed his
dispatcher
story
was asking you,
quite a bit.
If they're breathing. and
I
you
think it
said
would
no.
hurt the state if he
And
testified.
She asked did you see
He's a
anyone else in
character,
the
though.
area? And you said no. She asked about
Bright
the
red,
guns
isn't he?
near them,
Oh God, that was
and
my
you
dog.
said
He
no.
scared me.
And then you kind of stutter and start moving around and you said here.
I don't have any memory of saying that. I guess I'd have to listen to it to, but
Can't believe his
I don't
friend
recall a dog being out.
and
I'm
attorney
certain
Corey
that
isn't interjecting there.
there was not a dog out. I mean, there's other things people have told me about that 911 call that I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't know here. Like I was calling a dog.
Calling a dog, talking to somebody else. I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
So, obviously, there was nobody else out there. And
So I'm fucked.
certain that there was not a dog loose.
That's his
I
issue.
don't remember saying anything about Buster would know.
Clarifying a
about
loose dog,
threats.
not clarifying
I was asked
why
about that later.
he lied
I
about
had
being there at the
information
kennel
about
or not being
Buster
there
had
at the kennel.
information about threats that I had said he would know.
I don't know who Randy Quaid is. Am I supposed to know who that is? I don't know who that is.
Have you learned anything new about any threats against Paul or your family?
Nothing really new, no sir.
When was
Outside
this?
of things that Randy
August
told me
11th.
before.
So he hadn't been allegedly
there's
shot
just
on the
so
side of the
many
road yet. That was September.
things on the internet that, just
I somewhat agree. I think it's hard to get past his lying, though. I understand that doesn't mean he did it, but with everything,
And we also talked
with all
about-
the
talked
family
about this night-
testimony,
that night. You returned
especially
back in the house to get a shotgun.
Yes, sir.
his. Oh, hold on. Let me
What
listen.
door did you enter?
The best that I can remember, I went in the side door, and I went straight to the gun cabinet.
Were you focused on any particular shotgun or you just grabbed one?
I just grabbed one.
How do you normally load your shotguns? Avid hunters load shotguns in special ways, different types of munitions. And I'm just asking you how you load yours.
I mean, I normally put it in the chamber and push the button.
What type of shot do you load?
All kinds. I mean, I've loaded bird shot, buck shot.
He's the one that
slugs,
says the shitter's full.
mesquite
Got it.
shot.
At the same time? I mean, would you load like a bird shot and a buck shot? in the same load?
Not normally. I mean, normally.
Correct, Julie.
Then, you
I
know,
honestly will be
whatever
surprised
you're-
if he's found guilty at this point. But I'll be even more surprised if we don't have a mistrial
The reason I'm asking about that,
due to some shenanigans. COVID was
the
being a
shot
front
shells
runner
that we
there.
recovered that night, one was a turkey load, one was buckshot.
I understood that.
The shotgun that you had with you that night, there was a bird shot and a buckshot.
Yeah, I don't think there's a suicide plot in that one.
When Jeff went back the next day, I'm not sure which attorney it was, just pointed out that there had been
Yes,
shotgun
and that's what a
laying
lot
on
of
the
people
table
thought
that he
here
had put
locally,
away.
and even his family thought. That was kind of the point,
That was with
to
that.
throw
And
people
was a
off. It was a red
buckshot
herring.
and a bird shot.
And I
The shotgun
believe
that we took,
it was
for potential comparison,
another
it was also loaded with a bird shot and a buckshot.
person
So I have all
whom
these
Alec
consistent
could
loads.
blame Paul and Maggie's murder. If the
Along with
whole
what's that?
boat crash story wasn't working out, he could be like,
Is that what you call it?
That's
this dude,
fucking good
he
enough.
tried to shoot
I just
me,
want, if I say
so
feed room, I just want you to know what I'm talking about.
The night I grabbed the shells that I could get my hands on,
he's my drug dealer, allegedly, so he's
I don't.
the village
I have
idiot,
no idea
basically,
exactly what I
so
had.
it's probably him.
Also, when we talked, I asked you if it was normal to keep guns down at the kennels. And you said you would have to check. Have you been able to check to see what was missing from your collection?
I have, yes, I know what's missing from, what I believe is missing from our guns.
Okay, and what are those?
There's 3 guns that I think are missing.
Okay. And what kind of guns are those?
It would be a Benelli shotgun, a Browning shotgun, and a pump shotgun.
The Benelli and the Browning, are they pump or autos?
The Benelli and the Browning are automatic.
And the pump shotgun, what brand is that?
I believe it's a Remington, but I'm not positive.
Are they like standard brown and black, all black, or camo?
So I'm going to speculate that he's basically admitting one of those is the murder weapon.
The Browning is camo,
And I had a thought today. You know how he says he went on vacation?
Would you have those serial numbers recorded anywhere?
I bet you he took some of the clothes, the missing clothes with him, and it's down wherever he was, Key West or wherever it is.
Where the pump shotgun exactly came from, but I should be able to have a Benelli.
I learned about them after the boat crash. So in 2019 is when I started hearing about them.
Because we don't know if they're stolen or where they are. So I really can't get them entered into NCIC.
And then I think it was
But I could
2020,
alert the ATF where if
21
that gun is run, that there would
that
be
I
work
started
on it,
listening
and
to
it
the
would
podcast because we kept seeing them
dispatch the gun in person.
on the news everywhere. And then especially when Paul and Maggie were murdered, we're watching the news. Me and my husband turned to each other and was like, oh shit, someone got some backwoods justice.
And the pump is camo?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Because nobody believed that that kid was going to be found guilty or tried or anything like that. Because, I mean,
You know, I understand also.
there are that type of families around here a lot, and they just
300 was used that night. And I know there's been some, I understand John Bedingfield said he only had 2.
my next door neighbor
One of which
was
was
arrested
lost
for
3 a
and
long
charged
time ago,
with
but I'm telling you,
pulling someone over and
now I am
impersonating a
certain
police
that we
officer.
replaced that gun.
And Snapchat seems to be a
Right.
bitch in this
Actually,
state
John
because the person who he pulled over
Maggie a third gun.
recorded him
Okay.
being arrested.
And
His name
the
is
story
Wyatt.
was that she was supposed to let
Arrested
you know that she
Wyatt.
paid for it for you to go sign the paperwork.
Or recorded
And that never
Wyatt for
occurred.
being arrested.
Okay, so that's why it wasn't a number? Okay.
Well, he has the number.
He didn't serve any
He
jail
just doesn't
time.
have a final sale.
He had a
on
court
the
date.
ATF paperwork.
He was out
That
on
was the
bond.
place in the one.
That was real awkward at
Paul lost, yes.
having our neighborhood
Both-
kids play
both of
together.
those, three
Real
numbers,
fucking awkward.
Those serial numbers are with the ATF and flagged in the system.
And
So, when
magically,
they pop up,
because
they
his
give
wife
you those.
is from some well-to-do
And-
family, I
and
think it's
that's-
more of a
You know,
Georgian
we talked
family.
about the shot shells. So the
Um,
cartridge casings were 300 blackout cartridge casings that were found.
the
by
PR game is strong
There were also
because you
cartridge
can't really
casings found
find
by your
anything about
house,
that anymore.
by the side door to the gun room. And at the
And I had issues with him not being.
You're now asking about
I think
shell
it was
casings that were
expunged.
found
I
down
think
there
that's the
in
thing.
same
The whole
spot,
thing
correct?
was expunged.
Show the
Because it was
cartridge
like his
casings found
first
by Maggie,
offense.
yes.
Had he ever been confronted with this information prior to right now? That you
And
know?
I'm like, how in the world can
Not
you
that I'm
get
aware.
impersonating a police officer
believe he
being
was, but-
expunged?
Not by me, I don't think.
Shouldn't that be some sort of federal crime? So he has a daughter
there were also cartridge casings
that would have
found by
gone
your
to the
house,
same.
by
I
side
think the
door
wife
to
has
the gun
since
room.
gone. Nobody knows where he is. He went kind of
And
went
at
out
the
to
shoot-
California and
range.
believed that he was gonna
And
make a movie
the
or
ones by the
something.
house and some of the ones found at the shoot
My
range
daughter and his daughter,
are confirmed matches
would go to the
to
same
ones
school.
found by Maggie,
if you can fool a grown adult man into believing you're a police officer,
which gets
you can
another
definitely
concern. I've got
convince
the
a
same
kid
load as the
that
shot
you're a
shells
police officer when you're not.
and multiple guns
I take issue with that.
and 300
You have
blackout
no
that
restriction
match
as far as
ones
I
found on the
understood.
property.
So you now believe that those guns,
On
that Paul's
entering that
guns
school.
were used.
where
Yes.
his daughter
Okay.
would have gone.
And missing.
And in fact,
And I
don't know if she actually
understand
went
somebody had seen that gun recently, but, and I'd asked Buster about it. I believe that gun has been
there.
gone
So yeah,
since
none of us
back
believe
before Christmas.
his motive worked for a lot of people. His
Nolan-
alleged motive of these
No one
shootings
recalls
and
Paul's first
now I will say
300
when he got shot on the
going
side of the
missing
road,
around
conversations
Halloween.
started to be like, well, that's a
a
little
party in
weird.
Hampton.
Halloween of 2020.
When
And
did y'all?
I think
Well,
that's around when
that-
I
no,
started
no, no, it
investigating.
was
So I've been
years.
following
It
this
was-
story
it was
since at least 2021.
whatever Christmas you got it, so 17.
Listen to the podcast
Christmas is 17.
every damn week.
So it was the Halloween after.
Tell my
18
husband all the freaking
is when
details.
Nolan
I've gotten
believes
some of
it
my
was
neighbors
taken
hooked on
out
it now,
Paul's truck.
and they're like, "Oh my god!" I'm
was,
like, "Yeah, bitch."
I don't. It would take me
So.
around to find these notes, but
And
Mark
the
Williams or Matt Williams
sister that testified yesterday,
is a family friend.
her daughter lives in my
I
town,
got the name wrong, but
and they
there
were
was hundreds
all
of people at this
in
Halloween
my
party.
town the weekend before.
Nolan says the adults were
murders.
there, kids
So I'm
were
like,
there.
great.
And he
Awesome.
knows, Nolan knows that the gun was in Paul's truck when they got to the party, and when they went to leave the party, it was gone. So that's the timeline of when that gun goes missing.
Because, I knew it in a while.
And I think in April.
I think it was Key West. That he went somewhere on vacation with Maggie's family. Within like a month after the
October
murder.
17 is when they did the
Gotcha. Gotcha. Another part in the 911 call,
I'm not anywhere in that
you made the
County
comment, I should have known.
or district. However, if it
And the
had been
questioning that surrounded,
a federal case, which they were trying to
the
make
dispatcher's asking, is anybody else supposed to be at the house?
anybody
And
in
you
the
said, no,
state's
ma'am,
game,
please hurry. And she
I would
says,
have been
"We're getting
needed.
somebody out there
I'd have
to
been
you."
like, yeah.
And your next comment was, I should have
I know
known."
all about this. He's guilty.
What are you referencing?
Do what you have to do. I'm not changing my
remember
mind.
saying
Do what
that,
you have to
I
do.
guess, all the threats and, and I had been convinced it just was something to do with the boat wreck and, all of that.
Call or get physical with you. ever get into a heated argument and get physical?
One time, I mean, a little bit where he wouldn't listen to me.
Did you ever get physical with him?
No, sir.
How about Maggie? Did Paul get physical with Maggie?
No.
So she probably wanted to at times.
I'm sure she wanted to with all of us.
Yeah.
And the one time Paul did that, he had too much to drink,
Mhm.
in a very isolated incident.
Where was that? Was that at Moselle or Edison?
That was at Moselle.
So that was pretty recent.
No, sir. It had been a while.
And I misspoke. Corey Fleming, the one beside
And
him,
you
has
turned
been
all over
suspended
and
as an attorney in
yourself
South
on top of
Carolina, not disbarred yet.
it, and you pick it up. And you're saying something like, I thought about doing something, but then I put it back down. And that was the interview, our first interview.
Oh, the phone.
What-
Thought
what
they were
you
still talking about,
intentionally
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, when I went up to him and the phone came out, I don't remember having intentions of doing anything with the phone.
I don't remember having intentions of doing anything. I can't hear you. I can't believe Corey Fleming hasn't spoken up yet. Like this, I mean, if you didn't think he was being interrogated before or considered a suspect before, even though I feel like they should have said it by now, I think the questioning really implies that they do.
Going back when y'all ate dinner together after Miss Maggie got home and you and Paul.
And I'm
got back
surprised
right
Corey
around.
hasn't said anything. He's not a good friend.
Can
He's
you
not a good
estimate about
attorney.
how long y'all would have been at the dinner table or ate at the dinner table?
I mean, it wasn't any long drawn out dinner, just.
And I'm obviously an expert attorney, so you should take my perspective
Yes. I mean,
very seriously.
and you said there was conversation at the dinner table, but
I find it's more likely a juror is afraid to find him guilty. However, it's all but been proven his financial crimes. His buddy has already been convicted. One of them, not this guy, but another guy, Russell Lafitte, just has not been sentenced yet.
David asked you just earlier that
Oh, it's been on
when
foot.
y'all were riding around the farm. And you said y'all had a pistol in the truck, y'all had shot a few times, really not targeted.
So regardless,
You said that you.
he's going to be in prison
on that day you
for a
didn't
long
see
time.
long guns, rifles or shotguns in the vehicle. Prior to that, how long prior to that do you recall seeing guns or any guns in that vehicle?
I mean, Paul always had guns,
Okay.
so. I mean, it was very unusual for Paul not to have guns,
And when you say gun, did rifles or shotguns or
everything.
both?
His truck that he normally drove, I believe it was the Platinum, went into the shop that Friday prior to. I think Mark Ball went and got some video from Jimmy Butler's that shows Paul dropping the truck off and not removing anything from it. So basically, he would have taken the rifles out at home. Do you know what he did with those rifles? If he would have put them in a different truck or if he put them in the house or? would he have, so the truck that he drove, where was it parked on that Friday? So where would he have swapped everything out?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure where the truck that he drove on Friday. What truck did he swap out from?
I think when he went to Charleston, Dale said that he helped hook up the boat to one of the white Fords. And I know one's a gas and one's a diesel.
It wouldn't have been the gas truck going to Charleston. I'm not sure. So this occurred the Friday before everything happened.
Yes, sir.
I'm not sure. On Friday, I had gone to stay in the hospital with my dad. I don't believe that I saw Paul. On Friday.
When did y'all go up to Columbia?
On Saturday.
Why didn't Paul go with y'all?
You know, I mean, Paul, he didn't. I mean, he liked to go.
I don't know why he keeps kicking me out.
But that wasn't his thing to go.
It wasn't his thing to go to
That was always
Columbia.
been, or because of the boat incident.
No. I mean, he wasn't into ball as much.
Would that be baseball in the summertime? I know they were talking about like a USC game. I had another question I forgot.
Understand is
Oh, I feel like I swear I remember
you said
when all this came out about their murders that his alibi was that he went to visit his dad in the hospital that night. I swear.
And there's been some
And then
other
it went to his mom.
timelines or
So
times that we've talked about and you can't quite
I don't know that.
what the times are, what time of day it was. When the dispatcher asked you when was the last
But
time
I
you
swear I
saw
remember
Maggie
hearing
call
that
Maggie,
when it first started.
you said an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. To me, that's, a set, without thinking about it, you rattled off that time. We're sitting here trying to figure out a timeline.
Your question was, you told the dispatcher hour, 2 hours ago?
Hour and a half to 2 hours.
Hour and a half, 2 hours. What time was the 911 call?
10:06 p.m.
Hour and a half, 2 hours prior to that.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
And you're having trouble coming up with a specific time.
Oh, man, it's fair. Tell me again what I said to the dispatcher.
You said an hour and a half ago, probably 2 hours.
And what time was that?
That was when you were on the phone, and the 911 call was made at 10:06. So given 2 hours back, that would have been 8.
I mean, I think that's probably about. I think that's probably about right. So you believe I'm giving you an inconsistent answer?
No, I'm just trying to wrap my mind around it when I'm asking you what time you went to the office that day, what time you got home.
Can't hear you.
At this point in the investigation, did you have the video back from Paul's phone showing the dog at the kennels?
No, sir, I had not.
Then how did they know about it? They mentioned it in this interview.
I've got the card
Because
readout
maybe they
from
just
the law firm,
heard about it, hadn't
and
seen
it
it yet.
shows you going in at 5:30.
Going in the door.
Yes, sir. And Randy says when he left about 6 o'clock, you were still there. So the times aren't matching up. And I'm just trying to get, I'm just trying to get an understanding of why.
I believe that's not the first time I was at my office that day.
There were several readings that your card wouldn't work. Somebody actually had to let you in.
Okay.
But I've got your card.
So they
opening
saw
the
you.
door at the law firm at 5:30.
So you weren't at the Moselle property
And Randy
at
said
first when
you
you
left at
said.
6, you were still there.
His brother said at
I'm
6.
trying to understand.
He was still at the
You
locker.
know, I left the office earlier than I normally do.
What's your normal time to leave?
I mean, it's not unusual for me to be there till dark. You know, I try to get home when Maggie's home, before dark.
But Maggie wasn't living at the Moselle property.
That's right. So, if it was 5:30 or 6, I don't think I was still there at 6 o'clock. But, if I was, it wasn't long after that.
Okay.
So, I believe that I went straight home. So, my car, have y'all been able to get
I believe I went through.
Chevrolet to download my?
We're still working on
I
that.
believe I went through.
It's a long process.
I mean,
I have no clue why this keeps kicking me off. Highly.
I got home early enough for Paul and I to ride the property for a substantial length of time. More than an hour. I thought probably a couple of hours that we were together, but somewhere.
Did you go down the river?
We rode down all the roads. I believe that we rode all over. We rode all over.
I appreciate being able to see their
I've been able to answer some of your
computer.
questions. I know you
I don't know if they
probably
know that's happening.
But with my question
hey.
is trying to get some things cleared up. How about giving you some answers?
Well, I do know more than I did, for sure. So, yes, some of those questions have certainly, yes, sir.
What,
What answer?
what other questions do you have?
I didn't hear him ask any questions. Do you guys?
I would like to know exactly what happened.
Me too. The best that I've been able to put together.
Looks like. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Looks like what? Go ahead and say it. You're busted.
I believe Paul was not first. For the simple fact of where he was located.
How many times was he shot?
Twice.
I thought he shot Maggie first because I could tell he shot her in the back of the head.
You said he thought they shot Maggie first, or Maggie was shot first?
He thought, Alex said that he thought Maggie was shot first because she had been shot in the back of the head.
I would not be thinking of who was shot first if I found my family dead.
We may honestly never know who was first. But I think it was Paul, for the simple fact he wouldn't have, if he saw his mother getting shot, he wouldn't have run to that feed ring. And that's where one of the guns was. But, we've already established family guns were used. And if they came from Paul's truck was at the house. So where were they?
And how did they get down there?
And how did they get down there?
Did you just ask him, we've established family guns were used?
Yes, I did.
It's a question.
Proceed.
What was his response?
I'm sorry.
Would nothing be the answer?
Correct.
Go ahead.
I feel like that was kind of leading.
I mean, it's normal for y'all to leave your keys in cars. However, if somebody showed up and did this, you're not going to take Paul's truck back to the house and leave the key in it. I mean, do you?
Dude, talk about it.
And how did they get it down? We've already established family guns were used. And if they came from Paul's truck was at the house. So where were they?
And how did they get down there?
And how did they get down there?
Yeah, I think I would be like, our guns were used.
I mean, it's
Do you
normal
think
for
somebody in
y'all
our
to leave
family
your
did it?
keys in
Like,
cars.
who? Okay,
However,
let me think
if
of who has
somebody
access to
showed
the
up
house.
and did this,
Like,
you're not going to take Paul's truck back to the house and leave the key in it.
I mean, do you know that the guns were in the truck? And could they have been somewhere else?
They could have been somewhere else. I mean, he didn't have his normal truck.
that's Corey
I
asking that.
understand that Nolan too believes he saw the gun 3 weeks beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't talked to him, but is he believes it was the one that, not the one that was at the house?
If Alec had a conversation with somebody about guns and seen them, why didn't he call investigators and let them know? Hey, just want to update you. This person said they saw these guns and they have information as to when they were last
His
seen.
shotgun that he always kept, that Paul always kept with him.
Oh, primarily, yeah, he kept one of a couple of Benellis.
And it was a camo Benelli. Is the last one that Nolan saw.
Okay.
And HDD, some type of 7mm rifle.
Yes, sir.
Do you have that one at home?
Yes, sir. That's what he saw?
That's what he saw.
'Cause I was told by somebody that Nolan saw a 300.
He told me he had not seen a 300 since March after turkey season.
Whistle. Oh, my ear.
Okay, well, somebody.
But those were the go-to guns, and those are the last ones that he saw.
The
He said he
HDD and
in Vanilla. He had not seen the
My
300
eyes.
since March during turkey season.
Cool.
and he definitely saw it during turkey season.
Yes, sir.
Because there was some point in the act when it was missing at Christmas time.
The third one's missing at Christmas time.
Yes, sir. So, anyway, if he saw it in March,
Did y'all get any kind of forensic of anything that y'all found? Just the rain and the.
I mean, we got plenty of DNA from the scene, but
Yeah.
it's Nolan's, it's Rogan's, it's Alex, it's Paul's, it's Maggie's, it's Buster's.
Everybody.
David, can you tell me for sure? Did either one of them live after they were shot first time?
Not long.
Is that
The shooting happened very quickly. Very quickly.
Is this one person, two persons, three persons?
Is that the first time he's ever asked you that?
Yes, sir.
Ever?
That I recall, yes.
In the whole investigation at this point?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
I got 2 guns. I got 2 different types of ammunition. It's hard to say. It is hard to say.
No, neither one of them suffered very long.
Matter of seconds, if that.
Thank you.
Have y'all been able to get anything in Boston that might lead to anybody with beef? Let me ask you this question. Comes from Randy.
Corey's
you know, they got a
asking
lot of friends.
a question for Randy.
You know, from the upper echelon to the lowest socioeconomic level. They think that they can ask people to keep ears out, you know, loose lips, talking, that kind of stuff, but they don't want to reach out to anybody. That's purpose,
What is a blue slip?
unless y'all think it's okay. I'm not talking about paying people to do stuff for investigators.
Well,
Well, of course not. That would be very
He posed that
fucking
question to
weird.
me.
Right.
I'm not going to ask anybody in the law firm or anybody in the family, hey, go out and see what you can find and report back to me.
Sure.
Because then it can be construed as they're working as an agent of the state.
Sure.
And
I understand that completely. You don't even have to
yeah.
explain that.
Yeah.
I understand it.
so, I mean, I told Randy, I said, I certainly can't stop you from going out. But I wouldn't ask them what they know and then report back to me. Tell them to call me.
Mhm.
Tell them to call the tip line we have still set up. Or if you hear somebody talking about it, encourage them to call. Or give me the name and I'll go call.
I hear what you're saying.
So David, we don't have anything substantive that really makes you think, hey, this is a good.
Well,
We don't, like I said, the only DNA we have are family and close friends. We don't have any fingerprints. We don't have, unfortunately, we don't have any shoe wear or tire wear impressions because it rained that night. The only thing that we can go off of are the cell tower dumps, or the FBI was out and they were out on your property on Friday riding around trying to get some cell phone data. Unfortunately, all of that takes time.
And y'all have to send the, because it's new, you have to send that off.
Yes, sir.
So it's not like when we hire experts to come in and just download it.
It's 2021 and they don't have the system to support yet. But they're working, they're creating a system from what I understand.
Now, I don't know exactly how the OnStar thing works. I know how the control module. But this is something different, right? Or is it always contained in the same thing?
There are two different systems that we took out.
Yeah.
One is OnStar, and the other one is the telemetry system or infotainment center.
Yeah.
And the FBI says there is information there.
Yeah.
They just have to be able to extract it and put it in.
Yeah, Alec, there's information
So you
there.
just wait for that.
It's
I'm waiting on the search warrant
coming.
from OnStar to see what kind of information they can give me.
Well, you need if us signing something expedites that. I told you we'll get, I don't own the car, but whoever we need to will sign whatever authorization you need.
So you had said that, or maybe Jim told me something about y'all were able to get in Paul's phone just for the search warrant.
We have a what they call a partial download.
Yeah.
Because we don't have the passcode. Sure. We can't do a full extraction.
Do you think?
Alec is like,
So,
shoo.
You know, my thought was that I don't know who's required to authorize Apple to open it.
Mm-hmm.
I know there was that big thing where they weren't going to do it for whatever case. But I thought that if we, I think Maggie owned the phone. I think it was in her name. The account was in her name.
Well, you have to have your own separate iCloud account for each phone. And we've done that for Maggie's, Paul's, and Alan's iCloud accounts.
Yeah.
To see if there's anything in there.
Yeah.
There was nothing in Paul's. I'm still waiting on Maggie's.
Maggie did back hers up and stuff. I know that. So.
Does that mean Paul didn't back his up?
Probably.
But what my thought was, and I don't know if this is even possible, but if we get the estate, and we get the personal representative who is now the authorized person to authorize it to be opened. I mean, surrounded by 100 lawyers, we get a probate done like that, and I can have the powers of appointment done in 2 days, and we can authorize whatever it is you need to open.
And that might be beneficial.
So
I think Randy and I, or somebody and I talked about that
before. Yeah, well, and I said I'd do it. Any of us can.
Yeah. Who would be the representative? Just somebody at a law firm.
Probably one of your brothers, I would think.
For Maggie and Paul's sake?
Yeah.
Probably me. Or.
Yeah. It was supposed to be.
Brothers, but whoever it is, it doesn't matter. Whoever it is will do whatever y'all need to do to. No, it won't be anybody that'll be uncooperative.
Okay. Well, if y'all will go ahead and start working on that, then we'll reach out to Apple and figure out how we get that accomplished.
All right. Because gotta be something there. Gotta be something there.
There is, Corey. There is.
I can't make anything else. I mean, have y'all had to track down all the wackos on the internet? Or just only the ones that you think seem a little more, not the opportunity and the inclination,
There's been a few that I'm looking at.
Yeah.
I thought at first Corey was like, you guys aren't interviewing us based off things on the internet, are you? And now he wants him to investigate speculation on the internet? Which one is it, Core?
Right around the corner. I'm like, okay, well, no, they didn't. That Maggie had left her husband some time ago and was going to move to Florida to be closer to her father because mother was dead. And I'm like, okay, thank you, God.
So it's a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, people that want to get involved.
Yeah.
People that think they have some information. Especially the manner of death. They're all over the place.
Well, I mean, y'all been taking a licking in the press about not disclosing stuff, but Jesus Christ, man.
I don't have anything to disclose.
Well, and why are you gonna tell the bad guy what you got?
Thank you.
I mean, I just don't understand it. I mean, look.
Nobody wants to know more than this man right here and this man right here.
I know.
Everybody
I
else.
believe that.
Everybody else.
David, how far apart in time were the shots? And did one of them know the other one was dead or been shot?
I think it's impossible to answer that question.
You tell us, Alec.
I think it is impossible.
But you certain Paul was shot first?
I believe he was. I'm not certain. I believe he was.
Maggie would have known that then, wouldn't she? You don't know how soon afterwards she was shot?
And it all depends on how many shooters were there. I mean, if we're looking at two shooters, it could have happened at the same time. If we're looking at one shooter, it would have happened. And I know you can't help but think about it, but don't beat yourself up over getting an answer. It's not going to do anything to you.
When I asked you, now that you talked to me, are you willing to, if some of my family, Maggie's mom and dad or sister, are you willing to talk to them?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I'll meet them where they want to.
And why wouldn't they have all come together?
No, I mean,
Why is it only him coming to get answers about his family?
Maybe the babysitters.
Thank you. I know y'all are doing everything you can. And I don't take any personal offense at you asking me these questions. I know you got to do what you got to do.
Nobody assumed you would.
Well, I mean, and I hate to give any credence to the media, but with the media keep throwing you in there, then
You gotta ask the questions.
if I can get every bit of evidence possible that's going to exonerate.
It's real fidgety.
My car stuff. That'll help.
What? Did you just ask about his car?
You said earlier Maggie didn't like staying out there by herself.
Yes, sir.
Was there any kind of, I know we asked you once before in one of the earlier interviews about cameras, and if y'all talk about doing any kind of camera system out there, stuff getting missing, Maggie talking about stuff getting missing. We're hearing that type of stuff, so.
We never really had problems with stuff missing, but we still talked about getting, cameras and, doing all of that, but we just hadn't done it. We talked about it for a while.
But not really any conversation about stuff up and walking away or getting missing between you and Maggie.
Any conversations between me and Maggie about stuff?
You and Maggie or you and Paul, either one, about stuff that had been missing, or had somebody came up and taken from the bar or from the house or anything like that?
Only thing that I can remember being discussed missing was some drills and some Milwaukee tools.
How long ago was that?
Couple of it was since CB got hired, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Because that was one of the things Paul when he was looking for him, was going to ask CB. And I'd had a boy working out there for just a short period named Matt Luce. Is that the first time you've heard his name?
The last name, yeah. I've heard that there was Matt.
Matt Luce. I think it's spelled Luce.
And he basically did what CB does now.
No,
Or something.
he came in and was, just trying to, because I didn't have anybody working out there, just to kind of keep things from getting totally out of control. He came in and, he does that for another friend, works with another friend, and he's just kind of coming in to help me, probably, I believe he probably would have been there in the late fall, probably, I'm guessing.
I agree with what Stacy said. It is weird, a wealthy family not having cameras in this day and age.
I believe originally, but he lives up in.
He did say the night of the interview of the murders, the first police interview, that they had hunting cameras around the property. So I'm not sure if that was ever, those were ever found, and if they were investigated. But a lot of things SLED did during this investigation otherwise, even like this guy allowing him to go on vacation before he needed to do a final interview. And, he could have taken evidence and taken it on vacation with him and gotten rid of it. Allowing Alec to go back to the house that evening when a buster arrived, and he allowed him to go back unattended, and it was for like 10 or 15 minutes. It was just some very sloppy work. But again, there's been allegations that SLED and other police departments have handled this with kid gloves because of who they were, and also maybe just personal relationships with them. Like,
Do you still have his number?
Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I'll get it at it, but I can get it.
Awkward silence, awkward situation. That noise is my foot on a pleather chair. So that's not awkward. All right,
Where'd you go?
I had to step out and use the restroom.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
That was a weird laugh I just had, like Woody Woodpecker. Looking up where Alec went on vacation with Maggie's family. I know that Paul's friend who worked with the law firm testified last week, and he was the one that drove Alec to the airport. And it was mentioned there where they went on vacation, but I cannot remember. I feel like Key West, but I'm not as normal. I'm not as usual. I'm not for certain.
Just text the guy, send it to me, he'll have it.
Oh gosh, my back.
Can you think of anything else you want to talk about? That's what she's about. All right. Off the top of my head.
Did you drive Alex to the airport? I did. Where was he going?
Nathan Tootin.
Florida Keys.
The pair of guns that you bought.
All right,
were
he
Christmas
just,
presents.
I looked on my
They were
phone.
matching set, other than color. All right,
Nathan
about
Tootin
that.
is the friend, and he was the one that testified, said that they were going to the
With
Florida
thermal vision and
Keys.
stuff like that. The one that you purchased to replace the lost one.
So that's where he
Did
drove
it
him to
have
the
any
airport.
kind of optics on it? Night vision scope, anything like that?
It doesn't have a night vision scope.
My foot's falling asleep.
You know, and I don't know.
Nothing
Paul
like
put
the
something
world watching you take a
on it.
pee
It
break
was
during a
new
murder
scopes around
investigation.
from gun to gun to
At least we
gun.
didn't actually see his wee-wee.
But,
And he probably washed his hands, so that's really good.
I'm not. Oh,
Traffic cone, we see your screen. I hope we see more of their screen during the trial.
Break for lunch. Turn at
All right, so I'm going to end this for
2:20.
now. They're going for lunch. I will probably eating some food as well. Hope you do. Unless it's like breakfast time, then eat a waffle. I am not sure I'm going to be back on this afternoon because I have errands to run and people frown upon, live streaming while driving. So, I hope you all have a good day. Thank you for those that were here. And please remember to not murder your family.